Long before the discovery of penicillin, humanity was locked in a desperate, losing war against invisible monsters. A simple scratch could trigger an unstoppable infection, turning a minor injury into a death sentence. Doctors were completely blind in the dark. They needed a miracle weapon, a universal shield capable of destroying bacteria before it destroyed the host. In their desperation, they turned to one of the most precious elements on Earth: pure, glistening silver. Silver was the pristine king of ancient medicine. For centuries, royalty drank from silver chalices, and physicians dropped silver coins into milk jugs to prevent decay. It was a proven powerful bactericide. By the late 19th century, science industrialized this ancient secret. Chemists created colloidal silver, a liquid solution packed with millions of microscopic silver particles. It was marketed as the ultimate medical shield, an elite potion of absolute purity. The solution tasted like cold metal, but patients swallowed it by the gallon. It was prescribed for everything from epilepsy to the common cold. Inside the warm, amber-lit apothecaries of the early 1900s, rows of dark glass bottles held the metallic liquid. Wealthy citizens bought it wrapped in luxury packaging, believing they were purchasing a lifetime of immunity. They had no idea that the silver they consumed was not leaving their bodies. It was accumulating. The biological mechanics of pure silver are a slow, silent trap. When a patient swallows colloidal silver, the stomach acid breaks it down, sending millions of tiny metallic particles directly into the bloodstream. The body has no metabolic pathway to expel this heavy metal. Instead of passing through the system, the microscopic silver fragments permanently lodge themselves deep within the cellular matrix of the skin, the organs, and even the eyes. For months, everything appears completely normal. The patient feels cured, shielded by the precious metal. But silver shares a unique, undeniable property with old photographic film. It is highly photosensitive. The trap remains completely dormant until the patient steps out of the dark apothecary and into the harsh glare of daylight. The moment sun rays hit the skin, a permanent, terrifying chemical reaction is triggered beneath the flesh. Under the invisible lash of the sun, the microscopic silver trapped inside the skin cells undergoes a radical metamorphosis. Just like a silver spoon tarnishes when exposed to the air, the particles inside the tissue begin to oxidize. A slow, terrifying stain spreads across the patient's face. It starts as a subtle slate-gray tint around the fingernails and gums. Within months, the change is absolute. The skin turns into a deep, permanent, ghostly shade of metallic blue. Medical textbooks quickly gave a name to this terrifying biological painting: Argyria. Derived from the ancient Greek word for silver, it was a condition as stunning as it was horrifying. The patients were not physically dying. The silver had successfully destroyed their infections. But they were trapped inside a living cage of cold metal. Their faces looked like marble statues brought to life, a permanent, unnatural shade of blue-gray that defied the laws of human nature. The psychological horror of Argyria was absolute. In the rigid social landscape of the early 20th century, these individuals became medical outcasts. Society did not look at them with pity. They looked at them with fear, as if they carried a bizarre alien plague. They were labeled the Blue Men. Many were forced out of their jobs, isolated in the dark rooms of their homes, only stepping outside when the sun went down to prevent the silver from darkening even further. The ultimate, crushing blow for these patients was the clinical reality, when they turned to the elite dermatologists of the era, demanding a cure to restore their humanity. The answer was a cold, unyielding wall of silence. Argyria was completely, fundamentally irreversible. The silver particles were not floating in the blood. They had become part of the cellular walls. No medicine, no chemical wash, and no surgery could scrape the metal from their flesh. They were marked for eternity. They carried the heavy, permanent tax of a primitive, medical era directly on their faces. The silver that had saved their lives from deadly pathogens had stolen their place in human society. They became walking monuments of clinical arrogance, a stark warning that the line between a miraculous medicine and an inescapable curse is often written in the elements we choose to swallow. The clock continues to tick. The mid-20th century brought a radical, dazzling dawn to the battlefields of medicine. In the late 1920s, Alexander Fleming opened a window to a new world with the discovery of penicillin. Science was finally learning how to synthesize weapons from nature without forcing patients to consume heavy metals. The age of primitive toxic shields was coming to a chaotic close, replaced by highly targeted, invisible molecules that cured infections without leaving a permanent stain. With the rise of modern synthetic antibiotics, silver was swiftly banished from the primary pharmaceutical arsenal. It was a massive silent relief for millions. The medical community erected a rigid wall of regulations and controls, restricting the wild, uncalibrated use of colloidal solutions. The era of the Blue Men faded into historical archives, transforming a terrifying clinical reality into a bizarre chapter of antique dermatology. Yet, the ghost of the silver trap never truly vanished. Today, despite strict scientific consensus and modern drug regulations, alternative medicine circles still whisper about the mythical powers of colloidal silver. Unregulated internet forums and underground health gurus market the solution to desperate individuals. The modern warning is sharp and unyielding. The laws of chemistry and biological photosensitivity have not changed since 1900. Inside contemporary medical centers, the atmosphere is pristine, white, and meticulously monitored. Doctors treat infections with flawless, synthetic precision. We no longer trade our human identity for survival. Every clean pill prescribed today is a silent monument to the lessons learned from those who came before those, who paid for our safety with their own flesh, carrying a permanent metallic shadow on their skin. The modern shield is invisible, built upon rigorous trials and sterile safety. We walked through the blinding amber light of old pharmacies and the cold blue isolation of oxidized lives to reach this sanctuary of modern health. The price of immortality was paid in heavy metal and blue-tinted mirrors. The lesson remains etched in the elements. True progress cures without branding the soul. The clock has stopped. Thank you for traveling back to this dark era with us. What part of medical history shocked you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and share it with other history lovers. This was Morbid Medicine, and we will see you in our next Dark Archive.